Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So, Coach Tomlin comes out today and he says Mike Tomlin largely been pleased with defensive coordinator Terrell Austin's performance. And when you see Coach Tomlin say things like this, I know for me, I say to myself, does he really believe what he's saying? You know, when you see somebody on television, whether they're talking about politics or sports or whatever it is, and they're talking so outrageously and they're just lying or they're just beyond delusional. And you say to yourself, oh, they're just trying to get a rise out of people or trying to stir somebody up. Or now I know Coach Tomlin is not going to, throw the defensive coordinator under the bus. I don't expect him to do that. I mean, look at the way the Pittsburgh Steelers treat problem players like George Pickens and Antonio Brown, making them sound like they're pillars of the community and in the locker room, and nobody has issues with. I don't expect Coach just to throw Terrell Austin under the bus, but he also can't throw him under the bus in a way because we all know that Coach Tomlin runs the defense. So it would really hurt their relationship. Let's go back to Coach Tomlin for a minute. Does he live in an echo chamber where he really believes his own nonsense? Does he really believe what he's saying? And I actually do think he believes this. And let's look at the stats for a minute. I'm not going to bore you to death with a million of them, but in total defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 30th in the NFL, allowing an average of 386 yards per game. Passing defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers are ranked 32nd in the NFL, allowing an average of 273 yards per passing game. Now they're playing the run a little bit better than that. But do you really think that Coach Tomlin believes that Terrell Austin is doing a fantastic job or a decent job? I'm starting to believe that he does. And maybe that's why we don't see any changes. And everybody will just say, you know what, you're trying to make something small into something big and clicks and views. And that's all that you ever hear when you're pointing out details of somebody's behaviors. Oh, you're just doing it for a reaction. No, I'm really doing it because I'm concerned. This is why we don't see any personnel changes on defense, because in Mike Tomlin's head and in his eyes, he's telling himself, or he actually believes, that there's nothing wrong with his defense. Meanwhile, they're ranked 32nd in the NFL. You have to ask yourself this. It's not just me trying to, stir up controversy or trouble. This is what comes out of Coach Tomlin's mouth. And people will say, oh, what do you want him to do? Throw him under. No, I'm not saying that. But you have to start questioning whether Mike Tomlin really believes this. The things that he says, does he really believe it? Let's jump into the article. I've known Terrell a long time. He's very capable. He's very thorough. I've largely been pleased with his work, but certainly he and I are not pleased with where we are right now from a defensive unit perspective. So we're just going to keep working, Tomlin said in Tuesday's press conference via the team's YouTube channel. Now, working to get better with tackling and technique are one thing in practice. Yeah, you work hard in practice. Most coaches and most teams do. But what does that have to do with game planning? What does that have to do during the course of a game when the offense is evolving into something else that you're also evolving at the same time to stop the offense? And when it comes to that, yeah, maybe Terrell Austin, during drills or whatever they're doing in practice, maybe he's a wonderful coach. But as the game goes and as the game's flowing and the offense starts to morph into something, I don't see results. And I think that's what the problem is. I really believe that's a bigger problem than anything else. We never see adjustments by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when we do, it's too late. The game's already pretty much out of hand. So why can't the Pittsburgh Steelers make changes in an instant like a lot of other teams do? They don't wait till they're totally out of the game to make changes or to switch up the coverages or switch up personnel. I'm really starting to believe that Coach Tomlin thinks that Terrell Austin is doing a good job. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is ranked 30th in the NFL. DeShon Elliot was placed on injured reserve for the season, so the Pittsburgh Steelers trade for Patriots safety Kyle Duggar. New England is sending safety Kyle Duggar and a seventh round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a sixth round pick per sources. Duggar was drafted in the second round of the 2020 NFL draft by the Patriots and started 69 games for them over the last 6 seasons. His best season came in 2023 when he started all 17 games and logged 109 tackles, including 6 tackles for a loss and 1.5 sacks. He also had 7 passes defensed, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble that year. In total, Duggar has 441 career tackles, 24 career passes defensed, 9 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 25 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, and 3 defensive touchdowns. Duggar has some pretty good size. He's listed at 6'1, 220 pounds, ran a 4.49-second 40-yard dash with a 42-inch vertical jump when he entered the league. He also has decent arm length at 32.5 inches. Duggar has played the majority of his career snaps at strong safety, but he has plenty of experience all over the secondary. He has 2012 career snaps as a box defender, 906 at free safety, 223 as a wide corner, and 737 snaps in the slot. He gives Pittsburgh another versatile piece to maneuver around their secondary, though they desperately need safety help with Elliot out. Hey, at least we got a second round pick. It's not like a 7th rounder, 6th rounder, or a free agent. Hopefully he doesn't sit on the bench like Jabril Peppers. Brooke Pryor writes, multiple Steelers players questions team effort in Packers game, directly countering Tomlin's claims. One thing that's a little bit concerning that I heard from multiple players in the locker room is that there was a question on effort throughout the loss to the Packers. Beat reporter Brooke Pryor said on SportsCenter following Tomlin's presser, that negative plays snowballed in the second half. It built up and built up. Mike Tomlin said, look, this is not an effort thing. Coach Tomlin went on to say, I don't necessarily say a lack of fight in terms of effort. He said Tuesday via the team's YouTube channel. I'm talking about fight in terms of playmaking. You don't get credit for trying hard. We're not in the try hard business. Our fight is about production and producing, and we certainly didn't produce enough plays. So let's go back to what he just said. I'm talking about fight in terms of playmaking. It's just a time. It's just like, whatever, man. I don't necessarily say a lack of fight in terms of effort. I'm talking about fight in terms of playmaking. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? So isn't effort playmate? It's just all right. Now we're gonna argue the definitions of certain things. It's just like enough is enough already. Remember when the Detroit Lions, they were just playing so horribly, they just cleaned house totally. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers need to do. We really just need to start over again. We need to bring in John Gruden so he can develop a quarterback. John Gruden needs to be given a second chance in the NFL. Chucky has the passion, the enthusiasm. He will make the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base feel rejuvenated. They'll be energized. They'll be completely out of their minds on game day with Chucky taking the field, coaching the black and gold. We all know it needs to happen. We all know that Chucky John Gruden needs to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben also went on to say he's puzzled by Steelers' lack of halftime adjustments. The second half of ball games, we stink. I was just commenting on that a minute ago, and if Big Ben tells you that, do you really think Big Ben's lying and trying to get clicks and views and draw a reaction if he's saying the same thing that I just said 10 minutes ago? I mean, we can all see it. And it's a real problem. It's a real issue. The Indianapolis Colts are 7-1. They're a really good team with running back Jonathan Taylor leading the way. They're coming to Acrisure Stadium Sunday at 1 p.m. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers and the black and gold don't get their act together, Jonathan Taylor could run for well over 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Indianapolis Colts are a very good team on offense, on defense, and the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get it together in a short period of time. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.